Hey everybody. So we've been driving now for about 24 hours straight since the last video, heading your direction still. It's been rough, you didn't answer the door, so we're heading back home now, and it was kind of rough, I gotta say. You didn't let us in, I don't know why, but since we're on the drive back, I figured I'd give you guys another video to help pass the time on the drive. We're going to be talking about what it takes to be a leader in micronationalism. One of the biggest things that it takes to be a leader when you're trying to run a nation is to understand where your starting point is, to know what it is that drove you to start your nation, and to understand what it means to go from there and help recruit other people to believe in that same cause. Now that's easier said than done, because everybody wants to think that all it takes is just getting a few people together and that everybody will know what to do and how they want to do it. One of the things that is crucial in that, though, is understanding what the people that are around you need and how to best find the right people to help you, and also to understand what you can do for those people and how you can design your nation, your community group, whatever it is that you are doing, in order to benefit and assist them and make their life easier. Because obviously, if you want somebody to help you and to be a part of making something, that something needs to be beneficial for them. There needs to be a reason that they are in that for their own life, aside from the growth of that group itself.
Take a right.
So we're going to take a right, as is culturally important for us. Always taking a right, never taking a wrong. And so it's just really important that you understand what it means to find that leadership. The most important person to a leader, as we've talked about in our interview with Gray, if you haven't seen it, is that the second person to join a group is really the most important, because when people look to determine whether something is going to be successful or not, a lot of the time they look at who has already joined, how many people are already supporting this, to see whether it's something that other people believe in, and that's kind of how we value legitimacy. That's how we determine that legitimacy. So having someone that is by your side, having a number two, having someone who believes in that cause, the early adopter, the first person to support you and to really understand your mission and be able to explain that to other people, is absolutely crucial in order to get other people to join and in order to have something that is ultimately successful. The third thing that I want to talk about is that success really is what you make it. Success is something that is determined by what your initial ideals are and what that comes to as far as your own mission statement. So whenever you create a group, an organization, a nation, you have to understand where it is you're trying to go with that in order to even have the ability to explain that to that early adopter. In order to have anybody join you, you have to have a clear-cut direction so that other people know what their jobs are going to be when they go about pursuing those goals. And also to be able to then explain to people how that will tie into their lives and how that will benefit them. So having that good mission statement is really, really important. Understanding what your group's focus is and how it's going to go about achieving those goals. Then, again, having someone who can be your second in command, can be your early adopter, to be able to explain that to future generations of people who will take over your group and be able to lead it. And then finally, taking all of that and being able to work it down into a manageable program for yourself to understand your goals, the things you need to be doing every single day in order to accomplish that, your second in command, and continuing on down the line, so that as people join, whether it's their first day or whether they've been in it for years, they know what they need to do, and they know as times change how they'll need to adapt their own tactics. the more fluid that a group works together, the more successful that will be, because there's less moments of confusion, there's less moments of slip up, there's less moments where people don't really know how to identify or what the correct answer is. A leader should definitely be able to answer questions and should be able to focus on what it is that the group needs to do in times of crisis. But a truly good leader has a plan in place such that people already know that before they even have to say it. That your designs, your developments, your backup plans, your strategies are all set up so that you are not having to constantly micromanage others to ensure success. That when people join your group, they know what they need to do, they know how they need to do it, and they can go after it. That's really hard in micronationalism, because in micronationalism, you're trying to go after so many types of goals. You're trying to create a culture. You're trying to spread influence with other nations. You're trying to gain alliances that will help you politically and economically. You're trying to define some legitimacy in the world and go after personal goals or ideological goals, like, say, ecological conservation, say some political aspiration that you have as far as supporting a certain country, supporting a certain rights movement, supporting something that is important to the way that you see the world and the way that it needs to change. So ultimately, in all of this wide range of things that you're having to tackle, you have to understand you can't do it alone, that nations are built on groups. But as well, you have to be able to understand that if your group doesn't understand what it is that they need to be doing and how to work autonomously from you, that it's a struggle to keep that going. That you will have, as we see with many, many micronations, groups of people who are in it by name only. People who have this idea that they are a part of a nation, may have some grandiose title to their name, but can't execute on any of that. That their title doesn't mean very much to people who don't know who they are. That they don't have any true power, and that there is no way for them to execute on plans, because that there is that ultimate flaw in the design of the nation. That there isn't a clear-cut setup. People are in it just because of the way that it makes them feel, and not necessarily something that they get out of it more than that. So it is important to have friends in this. It is important to have passion for this, but use those things to drive forward a clear-cut message and to ensure that you're doing something that creates value for other people. Because ultimately, if you're making a nation, what you're signing up for is taking care of people. What you're signing up for is making a promise that you're going to serve the people who serve you, and that you are going to be staking your own word on the claim that by supporting what you're doing, people's lives will be better, markedly better. And that's something that your citizens, your people, should be able to hold you to task on, and something that you should expect to be held to task on. So being a leader, in summation, is mostly about understanding who you are, what you want, and why you've created this thing you've created. Everything that follows from that is about organization, and is about understanding that purpose that you've created in yourself. The better you can convey that to others, and the better a plan you have, the better it is, the easier it is for them to convey that to other people down the line, and the quicker your message spreads, the quicker that influence spreads, and the better ultimately you are able to market your needs and desires. When there is a good plan in place, you start to immediately see through it the patchwork that comes out from the issues that you will run into, to the assets that you have created, to the potential avenues for connection to other powerful nations, to other people that may create strong alliances. All of that is things that we are talking about in past videos and in videos that you'll see upcoming on the channel. But it's, I think, really important to talk first and foremostly about what it means to be a leader as an individual. This isn't specifically marketed to individuals who are the monarch of their nation, the head of their nation. It can be used for that, and definitely I recommend those people, if they don't already do this, that they absolutely take these words into consideration. But this can also be used for the people who are that second in command, that early adopter. This can be used for people who are running states and other micronations. This can be used for people who are running businesses. This can be used for anybody who needs to be in a position of leadership. Understand what it is that you need to do and feel confident in your plan and its execution, and you will make everybody down the line from you feel that much better about it. I was talking to Tiffany about this the other day, that when people when people sit at a desk and they espouse ideas, they explain what you need to be doing, even when they don't have a clear-cut direction for you to do that with, and they admit that they don't have enough knowledge or won't put in enough effort to see things from your perspective, to understand on the ground level what it takes to do what you do, how is it that you can be certain that you will be able to achieve your goal? How is it that you can feel truly supported in what you're trying to do if the leadership above you has no idea how to solve an issue? It's important that everybody has their role, but it's also important that everybody feels supported and well supported by everybody both above and below them in the organization. So I hope this is something that you all consider, and as well, for all of you who don't take this into account, for all of you who, for example, don't subscribe to this channel, just know that I'll turn this car around and I will come knock on your door again. I've sent you text messages, I've sent tweets out just specifically asking for you to open the door, and nobody has. So
Okay.
we had a little bit of a slip up there, but I just want you to know that I've sent tweets out, I've sent those text messages, and I am coming. I will turn this car around if you're not subscribed to this channel, and if you are not taking this into account. Be a good leader, know what it takes to achieve the goals that you want to, and I will see you soon. Peace, guys.